Trekcast.
The galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast.
Live from studios in Idaho, New York, and Southwest Michigan. This is Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Today on the show, we are going to rank Star Trek dads. Plus, we've got Star Trek news and your listener feedback. I'm Scott Bouters with Dan Lombardo, and now the father of this podcast.
Oh, God.
Daniel Reyes.
I don't know about that.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, God.
Or is it Poppy?
Oh,
Hi,
man.
Poppy.
A whole new
Oh,
level.
no. They're going to ask me later, what'd you do this morning? Oh, I just had some guys on the internet call me daddy.
Call me Daddy.
Yeah. Shit just got real weird, but real.
Yeah.
Real.
Real way.
Well, good
Oh,
morning,
man.
everybody. Happy Father's Day
Yes,
Thank
good
you,
morning.
thank
How you
you.
guys doing?
to all that
Father's
celebrate
Day.
it.
That's right. Did you guys have a good Father's Day?
It just started, man.
Just started.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
Everybody's asleep.
different time zones. Maybe.
Give it a
Maybe you
chance.
did
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I'm at Eastern time. The kid one of my sons had a sleepover. The other one is off somewhere.
God.
He's 19, so he's hanging out with friends. And so,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm expecting brunch, but we'll see what happens when I emerge from my ready room.
What's your favorite thing for brunch?
Breakfast food.
Bacon.
What, like
Big,
bacon,
like a big,
sausage?
big,
What
big.
do we got?
Everything else is optional. Big plate of bacon.
Okay.
Yep, big plate of bacon. Yep.
I like bacon, but I don't love it like most people.
Yeah, I love it like Spock last season. I love
Okay.
it like for the first 10 minutes, and I'm like, all right, that's enough bacon.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Darth Vader #1 dad.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm wearing Trekcast, the galaxy's most
Nice.
unpredictable Star Trek podcast. Because actually, this is a really comfortable shirt. I wear this probably more than I should.
Yeah.
So,
I wear my Trekcast shirt like at least once or twice a week. So yeah. It's a nice shirt. It's 100% cotton, which I just don't like. It's a necessity for me because I'm allergic to polyester.
oh,
Oh wow.
that's good to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you ever buy me clothes, Dan, no
No
polyester.
disco outfits.
That's right. No track suits.
Yeah.
I keep it
gym
right here.
clothes.
Yeah,
No
keep
army
that-
gear, which all army gear, all of it is all 100% polyester. So yeah.
Is it the like, do you get irritated by wearing it like on your skin, or is it with the fibers getting your eyes? I know if I'm wearing a new polyester like a fleece or a hoodie or something, and I put it on, I pull it over my face, and it's the first time and it hasn't been washed, and those fibers get in my eyes, forget it. I'm not.
Oh,
right
that sounds
for
pleasant
half-
compared to what I go through.
Yeah.
No, if I were to put on a 5% polyester shirt, 95% cotton shirt,
Cast.
in about 3 minutes, I'll start to feel itchy, and if I take that shirt off, there's like bumps. It's red and bumpy, and I get it's a rash. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am legit allergic.
Is there a lotion that Daniel can come apply? Being that
Yes,
he's the dad.
Yeah.
He's the
lower
dad.
the bathroom-
of the
How do you want
show.
daddy to take care of you?
Yes. Like, how do I want Daddy to take care of me? Oh my God. Daddy Daniel.
Oh God.
All right. Somebody on the internet make some kind of meme involving
No, it'll
Daddy
happen.
Daniel.
It'll happen. For sure.
Oh boy.
I know I can count on the Trekcast Facebook group.
Yes. Well, maybe
So I do
we
want to
should-
mention. I do want to mention one thing. I mentioned it to you guys, but I'm holding a Superman cup, okay, that I got from Six Flags. And
Oh,
the reason
nice.
why that's important to me is we planned a vacation to Wisconsin about 6 months ago, and part of that vacation we're going to go to Six Flags. which is just south of Wisconsin. And we went with some friends, and I know that there's a Superman ride at Six Flags, and I went online, and there's actually a group because I'm a larger dude, and there's actually a Facebook group for larger dudes at Six Flags. And basically, long story short, is I realized that I was too big to ride the Superman ride, and as most of you know, I'm a big Superman fan. So that was my weight loss goal from 6 months ago until
You're a big fan. You're a big fan of Superman, or you're a big Superman fan, or both?
Yes, I'm a big Superman fan.
Right.
So, story short is I went into the test seat that they have at the beginning of most of those rides, and I clicked into it once, and I'm like, good, I'm good to go. Got to the actual seat, I clicked into it once, and clicked into it twice, and she's like, oh no, you gotta click into it 3 times. And I'm like, oh God. So I sucked in, and I visualized my weight loss journey for the last 6 months because calorie deficit and walking and running, and finally able to click it in a 3rd time. And
nice.
the guy at the booth was like, yeah, he's good to go. And I'm like, yes, success. I was able to lose enough weight to ride the Superman ride. So I was super excited.
And then you held your breath for 98 seconds.
Basically, yeah. No, it was actually a really comfortable ride because the ride sort of inverts you. You're facing down for the whole ride, and it was one of the most unique coasters I've ever been on. So
right on.
It does a loop-de-loop, but it's instead of going down and then looping up, it goes up and then loops upside down. It's really, really cool. So if anybody's near Gurnee, Illinois, check out Six Flags. Cool.
Nice.
Park. So, yeah. A little bit of a humble brag for me.
Very nice.
You know, speaking of Superman, I ended up getting my tickets to the Amazon get to watch it a few days early thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I already bought tickets to see it in IMAX. So.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
It's the longest lead time I've ever bought a movie ticket for.
Yeah.
Ever. Even Star Trek, I never got tickets that far in advance.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it, man. So.
Yeah, me too. I'm still not crazy about the S, still not crazy about the collar, but everything else, every time they show a little bit more, I'm like, man, this is gonna be so much. This is gonna be so much fun. This is gonna be so much fun.
Well, I think Superman himself is gonna be fun. You know?
Yes.
I think he's gonna have the right attitude. I think Clark's gonna have the right attitude. I've been looking forward to that because Henry Cavill was a little bit too stiff, I thought. So I'm hoping that this guy's gonna be a little more.
He's a good actor. That wasn't him.
Yeah,
that was
a good actor. And he did a fantastic job playing Superman. But
he could do similar to what they're gonna do in this movie, but they just didn't give him that material to do it.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Right.
He could have been a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky Superman, and they wanted to press Superman, so that's what they did.
Sure. Yeah. Welcome to Krypton Cast, everybody.
That's right.
That's fine.
We're almost
10
minutes in, and we haven't even talked about Star Trek.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the Star Trek news.
So before we do that, my name this week is Lazarus because I'm back from the dead. My appearances on Trekcast have been what am I? I'm a recurring character on Trekcast. I'm not a but reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. I'm not going anywhere, people. I'm just letting you know because every once in a while I'll get one of the listeners reach out and they're like, "Hey, everything okay?" And I love hearing from you. Yeah. I love you guys. Don't ever be afraid to reach out. But I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Good.
Just things come up. Last week I had a karate tournament. That was something that couldn't be moved.
But you're the best around.
Yeah, and it's not last week.
No.
Oh no.
No, it was a weird experience last week, and it was funny because you guys, I listened to some of the show, and you guys said I was on Borath at the Klingon whatever, which was funny because in that episode, Worf was bitching about not winning, and he was bitching about his opponent using some illegal moves. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that's exactly what
That's what
happened, man.
happened?
This guy I was fighting, he was, you're not supposed to grab. There's certain places you're not supposed to hit, you're not supposed to kick, and the refs just, they weren't calling it. And I was pointing it out, and they weren't calling it. And it got to a point where I was down points, and there was the clock was running down. I knew I wasn't going to win this thing, and I said, you know what? As soon as they said go, I'm going to punch this guy square in his face, even though that's not an acceptable area to strike. It's like, if we're not calling fouls, then who gives a shit at this point? So that's what happened. They said go. I stepped in, punched this guy square in the face. There was no point, and then the clock ran out, and that was it. So I did not place. I did not place in sparring last week. I did, however, branch out, and I did a form last week, and I got first place in forms. So I would have much rather get first place in sparring, but you take what you can get.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still here, people. I'm not going anywhere. I may not be here every week. Things come up, and I take a week off.
Especially in the summertime, there's gonna be, I got camping trips coming up I won't be able to make.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm the new guy, so I'm really scared about being replaced.
Oh, whatever. The problem is when I can't make it. That's
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Scott, you joke about being the new guy, but you're the new guy, but you're also in the new blood. You're the guy who rings us up and says, "Hey, we doing a show this week?"
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I say?
So
I love doing this.
Thanks for being a motivator.
That's right. All right. Well, yeah, we got some Star Trek news, so let's get to that because we got a lot of dads to rank it too. So
Yes, we do.
Star Trek news.
all right. So our first news story comes to us from Variety. You probably saw this making the rounds earlier this week, but Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, has been renewed for a 5th and final season. So we're about to get into season 3 next month. Now we know it'll go up 5 seasons, or for sure go 5 seasons. The other thing that I don't think a lot of people pointed out is the last season, season 5, is only going to be 6 episodes. They're reducing it.
So you know what's funny about this? So it's going to go a quote full 5 seasons, semi-full, because the last season is truncated. Going by the old TV rules, the classic TV rules, this show will not qualify for syndication.
Right.
No.
It used to be you needed 100 episodes to get sold into a syndication package, and this show won't qualify. This show will not surpass the original series in episode count. This show will not surpass Enterprise in the episode count.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, what gives?
I'll tell you something I got an issue with. They've renewed it for a 5th and final season, and we're just going into season 3. I got 2 questions. Number 1, what if the show in the 3rd season, much like Next Gen, just takes off and just it becomes a global phenomenon and just starts raking in the money, and millions of people are demanding, oh no, sorry, we said 5, that's all we're gonna do.
It'll never happen. It'll never ever happen, and I'll tell you why. Because no matter how great it does, it's doing that great on Paramount Plus, which is just, it's
we're talking what, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, who knows who's gonna own it? I mean,
Well, and that's the other thing.
You know how that could happen. You know how that could happen if Paramount Plus gets bought by Netflix or something like that,
right?
And everything gets folded in, and suddenly you have this huge audience that discovers this show, and watches it and watches the first 3 seasons back to back to back and go, oh my God, this is amazing. You know, that's not unprecedented. If you remember a show like Cobra Kai had great success on Netflix, but it started on YouTube.
Started on YouTube, premium.
It started as a YouTube Red show, and YouTube Red went right down the crapper, and they sold the show to Netflix. And
it's the only reason why I had YouTube Red for like a month.
Oh, you know what else happened like that was that Lucifer show. It was on Fox TV.
Yeah, which was a good show.
Yeah,
my
it
wife
gained a whole nother life on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was an Arrowverse show, by the way.
You know how else Strange New Worlds could be saved? You donate to our coffee account. We'll buy Paramount Plus.
That's right. We'll take care of it. Yeah,
we'll take care of it.
Nice.
I mean, the way things are going right now, honestly, like, you know, it's a possibility that Paramount Plus could be owned by either NPR in 3 years or Donald Trump in 3 years. It's
right.
You know, all the rules are out the window. So who knows?
Yeah.
Now, the opposite of this. So it could boom, but what if season 3? What if in like 3 months it's discovered that Anson Mount or Ethan Peck are actually like neo-Nazis?
Oh no!
It turns out that a tweet they said 1700 years ago, you know, was like, you know, power to the wrong people, and all of a sudden the whole show gets not literally canceled, but you know, figuratively canceled.
Well, like
we got 2 more seasons to do, guys.
Yeah, no. So right now, what is it? The He-Man movie and the new Tron movie is kind of facing the same thing because of the new Jared Leto allegations.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. But see, this is different. Okay. You know, normally something like that happens. You write that character off. You kill that character off. If Spock does something stupid, if Ethan Peck does something stupid, you can't kill him off.
You can't.
He has to be around for the next 100 years.
Well, you can reschedule him. You can recast him.
Yeah.
That's what you would do. Yeah. So,
all right. You know, this it could tank, and then they got to do 2 more seasons contractually, right?
Yeah.
So that's so weird. How do we have any other examples where a show's been, you know, maybe you know, NCIS in season 17 they renewed it for 2 more seasons, or maybe even 3 more seasons, but you're 2 seasons deep into a show and you renew it for you know, you got 3 more seasons out of it. I don't know. I think they're grasping at straws right now, trying to do something.
Well, and remember the story we did last week, where there's talk of a Star Trek pause after all this. You know,
yeah,
because the Kurtzman contract has not been renewed. That is coming up. They don't know what the new owners want to do, and they're just kind of leaving everything for the new owners to handle. As like, you got a ton of movies like the Ninja Turtle cartoon movie. What was that? Mutant Mayhem. They really haven't done much with the sequel. They're allegedly working on it, but it seems pretty slow. You know,
a lot of these decisions are based on the impending sale, and when you're putting together a balance sheet to show to the company that's buying you, you have to show them what all of your liabilities are out there. So committing to you want to show that, hey, this is a successful show that we're selling you. It's going for 5 seasons, but at the same time, you also shorten that 5th season, so it doesn't cost you as much to produce that 5th season. So this is they want the best of both worlds situation. The new owners could come in tomorrow and say, no, that makes no sense. We own it now. 6 episodes. Nope, we're going to do the full 10.
Yeah.
You never know. Or they may come in and uncancel it and say, nope, this is still going strong. We're still making money. We're going to do 10 episodes. We're going to leave it open for 2 more seasons or whatever. There's no way to know.
I mean, the last Mission Impossible movie did not do what they thought it was going to do, unfortunately. You know,
that's good news for me because I want to see it on Paramount Plus as soon as possible.
Oh, it'll be there soon. It'll be there soon. All right. So then our next news story comes to us from trekmovie.com. Just as I was talking about the Mission Impossible, Simon Pegg is out there promoting Mission Impossible. And so he talked a little bit about what he wants to do for Star Trek 4. Says he wants to get back to the spirit of the original series. He says he would love to do a fourth one. He says there's all kinds of muttering about it, but I haven't heard anything that suggests what we're going to do. And then in another interview, he says everything has become so gritty, but I think it's just some sort of weird justification of how do we make this thing, which is essentially quite youthful. So he wants to go back to more of the fun-loving spirit of the original series, and he wants to make it more moral dilemmas and things like that. So
I don't think it's going to happen.
Can you smell that? That's nasty. That's
What is it?
That's the smell of the dead carcass of that horse that they will not stop feeding.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Here's the thing. When they go to the studio and they're like, hey, we want I don't know, what does it cost to make one of these movies? $100 million.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay, we need hundreds of millions of dollars. What's the movie? Well, it's Star Trek. It's Kirk. It's Spock. It's McCoy. But these are the younger versions, and they're gonna go. Don't we already have a show about that?
Yeah.
That we only half renewed for the 5th season.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not giving you $200 million for that. Go away.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
No, it's not. So there you go. That's where we're at with the new movie. And then our last news story, let's see, comes to us from, I believe it is space.com. Yeah, space.com. This what is it, the 18th? Was that Wednesday? In Seattle, William Shatner, Kirk himself, and astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson will be teaming up for a live show. It's called The Universe is Absurd. Tickets are still available if you're in the Seattle area. It'll be at the McCaw Hall. Tickets from when I looked them up were anywhere from $300 to like $600 just for seats, much less any VIP packages. But it's going to be these two. Yeah.
Can we just take a minute and just recognize that Neil deGrasse Tyson is the undisputed champion of what I'm going to dub right now astrotainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
He has taken science and astrophysics and just turned it into entertainment. I mean, he's got a podcast, he's got a TV show, he does these things, he's a guest on everything.
Yeah,
good on him.
Yeah,
I'm a big Neil deGrasse Tyson fan. I listen to his podcast.
Yep.
A couple times a week. Star Talk.
Yep.
And
he's a professional, smart guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right. Like you said, his tagline is where science and pop culture collide. Yeah, he's bringing science to the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and let's not sleep on William Shatner.
The other guy,
he's what, 93 years old.
I thought like 94.
94. He's he's recently been to space. As say what you will about him, like there's different things that people have said about him, especially like on the set of Star Trek, and how big his ego is. Dude's still sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still walking around, moving.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I hope I'm as spry at 80 as he is at 94.
Right? Yeah. So if you're in the Seattle area, this seems like a fun show. I would go if I lived closer. It's pretty far from me. But yeah, so there you go.
Yep, looks like a good time.
Yeah. All right. I guess now it's time to move into our main topic, where we're going to rank the Star Trek dads. So here we go.
Fun will now commence.
All right. So I put together one of these tier lists like we've done before. The internet loves these. I went pages of so Scott had the great idea. It's only going to be from the movies and the TV shows. We're not going to get into books, the video games, your fan fiction. And then the other rule And
We're not going to do Daddy Daniel.
no, we're
Oh,
not.
he's going right to the top. Right
That's
to the
right,
top.
baby. The other thing too to remember, people, this is the definitive list. If you disagree with it, I'm sorry, you're wrong. We do not make up the
absolutely.
rules. This
That's
is
right.
just how it works. So this is the list. I kind of feel like we should do like maybe a couple like pegs of here's a bad dad, here's a good dad, here's a middle dad. Like set those,
Yeah.
and then we can kind of
Start
judge
plugging
the
them in.
rest. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like who do you want to go for bad dad like immediately?
Worf.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
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 So Worf immediately goes down to the D. He's just done.
Yeah.
Who do you want to peg for a good dad?
Let's see. Let me look at the list. Rom.
Yes.
Rom.
I agree with that.
Rom's a good dad.
Yep.
And he was like a middle of the road dad.
I got one, and it's controversial.
Okay. I wonder if it's the same one I think.
Ducat.
Ducat for middle of the road.
Yep. And let me explain to you why.
The guy who murdered his own daughter.
No, he didn't murder his daughter.
No, he thought about it.
Yeah, he just thought about it, but didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
His right-hand man murdered his daughter. So Damar murdered his daughter. Think about what Ducat sacrificed for his daughter, what he allowed his daughter to do in her best interest. Zial was allowed to stay on the station with Kira. So Ducat, for his own daughter's sake, said, I'm going to allow my daughter to stay on a station that brings back so many bad memories with a person that I hate, Major Kira, because it's in her own best interest. So he was able to set aside his hatred and his bias of Bajorans and of the Federation and of Deep Space Nine because it was in Zial's best interest.
How many middle of the road dads do you know saying, hey, where are the monuments to my greatness?
I'm just saying that. Hey, look, some you might be a fair to Midland dad, but a complete jerk in other areas of your life. I'm not saying he didn't commit mass genocide.
Okay, I would say for middle of the road dad, it's Miles. He's a working man.
Yeah, he's okay.
He gets frustrated. He goes up to the bar every now and then.
But battle, I know it.
But he took his family off the most comfortable ship in the fleet and put them in the ass crack of space on the frontier.
Make them a solid C.
Just so he could go hang out with Julian all the time.
Yeah. Come on, let's move off of the Enterprise and go to this
that's right.
rotating bicycle wheel in the sky, right next, well, in the beginning, right next to the enemy, i.e. the Cardassians, and for the next 7 years, right next to the enemy, the Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. As a dad, no. No.
Okay. Maybe.
So what are we going to put him, a B or a C?
There's, Scott, you're a military guy. There's base housing.
Yeah.
And then there's bringing your family on the aircraft carrier with you.
Right. Yeah. He definitely went from like nice Air Force base housing.
To
like
come on, kids.
Frigate, not even an aircraft carrier.
Get the sub.
Yeah.
Alejandro, Q. I didn't know Q had a child on the show. He did.
Yeah, he had a child on Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Q and Q had a child named Q.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's a fun fact. That was John Delancey's actual son.
That's right.
His son.
Yeah. All right. So middle of the road dad, we're going with Miles or not?
Let's throw him up there for right now as a B. Let's remind the
we can always
listeners
move
too
around.
what the rankings are. There's S that stands for super,
I guess.
and then A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. This is based off some sort of Japanese measuring system, and the internet loves it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got S, A, B, C, D, where S is the best and
Mhm.
D is the worst.
I think
All
S
right.
is
B is
supposed to
the
be like
middle.
superior.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever, man. It's
Okay.
This is
All
how
right,
the
so
lists
what
are made, and yeah.
So what are
all
we
right.
doing now? We're picking another bad dad?
Well, how about we just go down the line? So first one on
Okay.
the list here is Jack Crusher.
We don't know
The
anything
original.
about.
We don't know
Jack
much
Crusher.
about him as
It-
far as his
it-
parenting abilities. I mean, we know how he knows how to die.
Uh-huh.
Now,
We
I'll
know.
give him
We know he
this.
set up the camcorder before
Yep.
he died.
The things
Yeah.
he said on the camcorder makes me feel like he was a good dad. You know,
Mhm.
just the fact that he took the time to, you know,
To leave a message.
make a recording for his kid. And
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Let's imagine that you're in you play your very first game of baseball. You have one at bat, and you belt one over the second baseman, and you get a triple,
okay,
right? And then the next inning you die. Are you a great baseball player? No. I'm not saying you're a bad baseball player, but there is not a statistically
Jack goes up
significant
the bat
amount
the
of
second time.
there's not a statistically significant amount of data to rank him as a good father. That
He
is
hits
my
another
argument.
home run, doesn't touch homes. Yes, you know, the first base or the catcher says, "What should I do?" And Worf says, "Find him and kill him." And that's what happens. That's how Jack.
That's
dies.
what happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you, Dan. I don't
Yeah.
think there's enough information. I also think though Beverly won't shut up about him all the time, and Wesley. So clearly he was good at something, but because
Yeah.
we, the audience, don't have enough, I would say C-list. Not quite horrible, but a little subpar because we don't have enough info.
Yeah.
But are we
I
going
would-
to
I
punish
would-
him
I
because
would
we
s-
don't know?
No, and that's why I would say you put him right in the middle.
I agree. Put him right in the
Okay.
middle. Solid B.
Okay, we'll put him B. Next one is Neelix.
Neelix is nobody's dad.
Wasn't he a stepfather at the end of
He's a
Voyager?
stepfather to that Talaxian kid.
Yeah.
Did he marry her?
He said he was
You-
going to ask her to marry. To marry
Yeah.
her.
That's not the same thing. He's not a stepdad. He's mom's
Okay.
boyfriend. He doesn't
Bad dad?
qualify.
But we can't punish him for not being a dad either.
No, I say don't even put him on the list.
It's
put him
like,
back down in the queue.
It's like put Riker up there. Oh wait, Riker is up there. Who's
Yeah,
definitely
Riker's
not
up
a
there.
dad? Put Picard up there.
Picard's in there.
Is he?
Yeah.
When was he a father? Oh wait a minute.
He was
The
in the
Picard
inter-
season 3.
Damn it! That's
and,
right.
And in the inner light. I'm
who
going to
was
judge
definitely
him.
not a father? Zial was not a father.
Zial was not a father. Good job.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll take off.
Take him off.
Neelix.
Take him
All right.
off.
How about the Doctor from Voyager? He had that Hollow family.
Give him a D. Give him a D. He is the most
'Cause he bailed out.
controlling. He's the most controlling father I've ever met.
Yep.
Evidenced by the fact that he literally programmed his family.
That's true.
And then he bailed on him when things got rough.
That's
Yep.
true.
He went out for milk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like,
He went out
"Yeah,
for
I'm going out for
holographic milk.
scratchers. Peace out."
That yeah. All right, the next one was Sulu from the movies, the Kelvin universe. Because
I
remember
don't-
in
Well, there's also
Beyond-
evidence that he was a father in the regular universe.
Yeah.
Demora.
Demora. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think there's enough data to form an opinion, so I will put him in the B column or the B
Yeah, I think we have to. Yeah.
row.
I mean, she ended up in Starfleet, and she said that Dad told a lot of stories about
Mhm.
So I think good dads tell good stories. So yeah, we'll
I
put him
guess,
in the middle.
Yeah. All right. The next one, probably Dad of the Year, Magnus Hansen, aka 709's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, now
He took his daughter to observe the Borg. That's bad dad right there.
that is that is bad. Yeah,
It's all sorts of bad dad.
but he, by all accounts, he appeared to be loving.
Oh, look at the beautiful great white shark. Don't stand too near it, kid.
Come on, we gotta have some C dads out there.
Okay, he didn't do it. Okay, I could see C because he wasn't like malicious. Like he wasn't like, I can't wait for
Right.
my daughter to turn into a Borg. But he was
Yeah.
also
Right.
not thinking things through.
Worf was neglectful, but this guy was just not thinking things through. Bad
Right,
dad,
C
not
was-
horrible.
Either way, you're a Borg. Doesn't matter.
They all ended up together anyways.
I
You know.
guess. Yeah.
They were one big happy family.
Yep.
Just extended.
All right. Now we got Picard, Admiral Picard, with his adult son.
That's a tough one because, like, Kirk knew he had a kid, but stayed away because Marcus asked him to. Picard didn't even know he had a son,
Yeah.
and then tried really hard at the end. So you can't make him a bad dad.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna say A
tried.
column
Yeah, I
'cause-
can't argue with that.
because
can't
I
argue with
also can't help but think about his time in the Nexus and how much he wanted to be a dad.
that. Mhm.
Think about his time in the Inner Light when he experienced fatherhood and grandfatherhood, and
Mm-hmm.
you know how important all that was to him, and encouraging his son while also trying to keep him on the right path and
Yeah.
become successful. So I think he could have been a good dad. He's not
Yep.
Rom, but
No. God, no.
Right.
No, I
Now,
agree with you.
we
I
have
think,
to ignore first season Rom. Because first season Rom was kind of a dick.
Yeah. They didn't know the character yet.
They didn't
Yeah.
know
They
the
were
character
figuring
yet.
it out.
Because he was all like, I don't want you, hanging out with these humans and learning
First
their
season Rom is
values.
smarter too.
Well, he
here's
also
the-
tried to kill his brother.
Yeah.
He was in first. Let's look at it this way: in the first season, he was a good father, judging by Ferengi standards.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And as time went on, and he was exposed to the greater world around him, he was a good dad by universal standards.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Did you see this latest chat? I can't watch this now, but I'm so glad to see Dan is alive. I thought Strongbeard had locked him up with Chad.
Who said that?
Manamanaman.
Manam.
Oh, you're gonna get that in everybody's heads now.
Yep.
All right, next one is Geordi.
Jordy.
Definitely not worst. But
I think
definitely not
A-list.
best because he's a bit controlling.
He's running the museum. His daughters are in Starfleet. They seem all good with him. There's no like anger between them all. I think
Right.
that's a solid A dad.
He talks
that's an
about
A-dad.
not being home for dinner, which
Mhm.
implies that even as adults, his children still visit home.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not a good parent, as soon as they're out of the house, they want nothing to do with you.
Right.
Yeah, I'd call it A. I wouldn't call it S, the top tier, just because he seems to be a little bit overprotective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think A is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Sarek, Spock's dad.
There are so
Yeah.
many iterations of Sarek, and all three of them have displayed dickish qualities.
Yes.
But in the end, they always seem to. And again, we're kind of anthropomorphizing
Mhm.
these dad qualities a little bit. So, do we judge this based on our standards, on Vulcan standards?
I think it's got to be ours, right? Because we're judging off what we know.
right.
So which I
So
would say is C-list.
yeah, he always seemed to be a pretty shitty dad. Not horrible, just
He just didn't
I
know
don't
better.
approve of anything you do, and
Yeah.
human friends are trash, and
For holding himself to Vulcan standards and always trying to hold his half human son to Vulcan standards,
Mhm.
he only shags human ladies.
Yeah.
right. Well, because he's the ambassador to the Federation, so it was logical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marrying Amanda was logical.
Yeah.
But even his later wife, the one on
Uh,
TNG, she was human.
Yeah.
Parent, yeah.
All right. So C list.
Yeah.
Next one, Riker.
Yeah, so he literally quit Starfleet and moved a planet away to try to save his son.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And make pizza.
make pizza. I mean,
and repair his family life after
Yep.
his son passed.
I'm
So-
going to give him an A.
Yeah.
Make him
Oh,
an
I
A.
think you can make an argument for S. That's a lot of sacrifice.
That is a
for your
lot of
family.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Is there anything to detract from him then?
I don't think so. Like, he had his party days, right?
Yep.
He put those behind him once he had a family.
Yep.
He sacrificed everything to be with them.
Yeah. So at some point he will have to have a conversation with his daughter because
Right.
she's going to look at the timeline and say, "When did you and mom meet?" Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And when did you start dating? Uh-huh. And when did you serve on the Enterprise together? Uh-huh. And then you got married
When?
at this time? When did you get married?
Yeah.
So you talk about he had his fun. He had his fun while she was standing there watching him do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of. And then he has a daughter, so he now has to explain that to his daughter. So, just imagine having to explain to your daughter why you were so shitty to mom for those 10 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You explain that. You explain that to him.
Is he in the basement too? Can we explain that too?
We keep him there. Doesn't he look like he could be my father?
I don't. Is your mom watching right now? We can ask.
Scott, do you want him to be your father?
No, I love my dad. My dad was great,
we could just say
I look a little bit alike.
we could just say that he is. It's fine.
Yeah, we can
If
just
that'll make you feel better.
All right, so we put
Any
him S
breaks?
tier or A tier?
I say A tier.
A.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying an argument can be made for S.
I think an argument can be made for S, and once this is all in place, we can do the list.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we can move things
from
around.
there for now.
All right, the next one, Booker, Cleveland Booker
Who is this?
from Discovery.
Oh, there was a show called
Oh, this is-
Discovery. Yeah.
Oh, is this the guy who was in season 3 of 21 Jump Street and then got
That's
his own
right.
show for one season?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think he was a dad.
He was at the end, right at the end of Discovery. We saw the prologue where they had a kid.
Yeah.
we
So
saw
he had-
nothing of their relationship.
Yeah,
though.
we saw nothing.
So we'll throw them in the B column. We have almost no information.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
Most of the people in the B
they're
column is we don't
adult-
have any information, and then there's Miles who's like, he was good, not great.
I mean, based off the earlier argument, their adult son did come back to visit when they were still an adult. He came and hang out with the family. So that's all good dad behavior stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't like
yes.
him. And I
Oh.
don't like the
Yeah.
show he was on.
Mhm.
What part of that are you not getting?
Wait, you didn't like
He had a
Discovery?
cat.
I hate cats.
Wow.
I'm a dog person, man.
Yeah. All right.
Put
all
it
right.
this way. How many times have I jumped out of this van to go save a cat?
Oh, and I can't think of any.
Boom. That
Zero.
many. Boom.
All right, next one. Dr. Mbenga from Strange New Worlds.
I'm gonna
Kept his
give
daughter
him
in a huh?
yeah. I'm gonna give him the A.
Yeah, me
This-
too.
This
too.
guy lied to his employer, stole from his employer, falsified records from his employer and his government.
Yep.
To save his daughter.
Yeah.
And then in the end, made the most difficult decision to let his daughter go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you.
That's some good dad stuff right there.
That's some good
Yep.
dad stuff.
So he may shift to the S column upon argument later, but I'm
So
comfortable
far, all
with
you
him
need
as an A.
to be an S dad is to be a kind of dumb and
I
a
mean-
little bit loving.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of a little
I
bit
think
dumb,
I think there's more than that.
Yeah.
He rejected everything about his own culture and put his son first. He rejected everything in his own life and put his son first.
you're right.
And threatened to burn his brother's business to the ground. If you F with my son again, I will burn the bar to the ground.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
That
He
took some
stays right
stone.
there. He stays right there in that column. Don't you think about
As he
moving
should
on.
be.
Okay, you're right. You're right. All right, let's
All
go to this next jackass.
yeah, Richard
So this guy,
Bashir.
Richard Bashir, put him right down in the D column. Not only is he a terrible dad, he is probably the worst human being in the history of Star Trek. And he is a perfect example of why communism and socialism will never work.
Tell us
He's
how
a
you really
class A piece of shit. He lived in utopia. Everything he wanted and needed was provided to him by his government, and his son was a little bit slow.
Yeah.
So he subjected his son to dangerous and illegal medical experimentation for what? For his own ego. His son lived in utopia also. His son would have had every need provided to him for his entire life. That was not good enough for this piece of shit right here. Okay. And then he spent the rest of his days pretending he was a viable member of society. Oh, I'm a landscape architect. Shut up. You're a piece of garbage. He contributes nothing.
So
So-
move him up to B? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. Do you not like Dr. Bashir's dad?
No, I don't like
Now, in the end, he does sacrifice his freedoms for his son's career.
Yeah.
Let me give you a counter.
And even that was, look at what I'm doing for you.
Okay.
Did
Yeah.
Dr. Bashir, though, with his enhanced abilities, not save an entire planet from a horrific plague?
Hey, sins of the father and, good deeds of the son don't make a good,
Yeah.
dad.
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing. Even in the end, yeah, he went to prison. He went to Federation prison.
Yeah.
Right.
We saw what Federation prison looked
Was that
like.
Club Fed? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, it was, Tom Paris, oh, I'm gardening today.
Right. But yeah, Julian's
Janeway's-
accomplishments have nothing to do with it. I mean, my dad was a great guy, but the fact that I'm, an awesome Trekcast host is not reflected on, doesn't make my dad a great guy. My dad was a great guy. That's what made him a great guy. So,
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Restaurant Cisco. Joseph Cisco.
Lied to his son about who his mother was for 45 years.
That's a few deduction points right there.
Yeah.
But he makes good gumbo, so
And his adult son visits him all the time.
Well, they do seem to have a good relationship,
Yeah.
and
he's got a good relationship with his grandson.
Yep. And when push came to shove, old Cisco decided, I'm going to go on this trek with you, son, because, you seem to need all the help you can get. So I'm going to shut the restaurant down and I'm going to comb the desert sands with not actual combs. But yeah.
He also was difficult, though, when they were trying to basically do the looking for changelings.
Yeah.
He also conspired with the Klingons and the Romulans to keep the Federation at war
This is true.
with the Klingons.
So
he said, now's the time to bring them to their knees.
He did say that.
He did say that. So for those of you who don't know, Ben's what's his name? Joseph Cisco and Admiral Cartwright were played by the same actor.
Yeah.
Brock Peters. May he rest.
Are we thinking B list, C list? What are we thinking?
B.
Yeah, let's put it in B for now.
Yeah, because he's complicated, like most people. He's done some good, he's done some bad. So, speaking of complicated, Kirk. James C.
C.
Really?
Yeah, an argument could be made for B, but I mean, Carol Marcus asked him for this. Don't contact David. Don't be in his life. I don't want you in his life. But a good dad would have said, you know what, screw that. I'm going to be in this kid's life no matter what you say, even though you don't like my lifestyle. You know, I'm a good person and he deserves to know. So C.
Yeah, I agree
So
with you.
here's a question. So since there's no money in the Federation, what's child support look like? I mean,
Wouldn't it be like emotional support?
17%. 17% of zero is zero. So
right. Yeah.
I have 17% of my non-Starfleet pay sent to Carol Marcus every month.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Worf's dad, Rozhenko.
Put him near the top of the list.
Yep.
Worf was a problem child that Sergei had to deal with, and that right there gives him a lot of parent points.
Didn't Worf murder another kid as a kid?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it murder,
No,
but
it's not
actually
murder.
killed him. They talked about that story in Deep Space Nine. They were playing soccer, and they both went up for the ball, and they knocked heads, and the other kid died. Worf said he barely felt it.
Worf was not only he was not only adopted, and he was not only an orphan, he was a war orphan.
Yeah.
So, his dad, Sergei, is that his name? Sergei Rozhenko?
Yeah.
Sergei Rozhenko was an enlisted, he wasn't even an officer. He was an enlisted member of Starfleet who took this child of the enemy as his own son and raised him and loved him as his own son. And even arranged for him to visit his family on Kronos from time to time. Still made sure. Still made sure.
Right.
Yeah. Put him up there. Still made sure to expose him to his own culture.
And you know what?
Good. That's good fathering right there.
This Worf asshole who was always, I'm son of Moog, not I am son of.
Yes. Actually, in Picard season 3, didn't he introduce himself as didn't he throw
of the House Rozhenko?
Of the House Rozhenko,
House of Moog and House Rozhenko. I don't even think he mentioned son of Moog, of the House of Martok, of the House of Rozhenko. He did throw some props. So,
all right.
An adopted son, adopted dad, a lot of props. War orphan, S tier.
Yeah, S tier for sure. That's you got me convinced. All right, Trip.
Not
because
he
had the Vulcan baby, and then he was also pregnant on that one ship. So
that's true, and he also fathered a clone of himself.
That's right. He's a father multiple times over.
He's in all the ways you can be a father.
Trip is a triple father.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That scene where after the baby dies, you got to hand it to the actor. I really like that scene. He brought that. I mean, he was obviously in the worst possible emotional pain that you can be in when he was talking to T'Pau and he said, the doctor said that there's no reason why a human and a Vulcan couldn't, go on to raise a healthy, the reason why our kid died had nothing to do with you're Vulcan and I'm human. And I was bawling my eyes out during that scene. And you could see Trip's pain. Connor Trinneer did an excellent job in that scene of just, breaking down emotionally. So that pain that he felt, the pain that he expressed, I think is the sign of a good dad. Even though we don't have a lot of information on him, which I think
was going to say, just because we don't have a lot of information, I think B. I could see him being an A, but we don't have enough. So
we might revisit that. But
All right. Next one. Tom Paris.
Thomas
the Lizard
Eugene
Babies.
Paris. He was a father in the show for 3 minutes and 11 seconds. So I'm not even sure
we
it was
also
that long.
in the Year of Hell we saw. Was it Year of Hell? No, not Year of Hell. What's the one where Cass was moving through time? We saw all the different time frames.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and so he does have a daughter with Cass who's dating Harry Kim.
And Harry Kim should be on this list. He had a daughter.
Yeah,
His daughter was
timeline.
Tom's granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
I mean, with Ocampans, it makes everybody a pedophile because they're all
Yeah,
less than
except
9
they
years
went.
old.
These two guys went from trying to hook up with the Delaney sisters to one guy dating the other guy's daughter. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird. No matter what reason you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, even T'Pol was like 63 years old on Enterprise. So.
Yeah.
Well, then where do you
He was
want
a cougar.
to put him then? C list?
No, he wasn't a bad dad.
No, we just don't have
anything
enough
about him.
data.
He's
So
a B.
he's got to go
He's a
B. He's got to
Yeah.
go B.
Okay. All right.
And this list is kind of looking the way it's supposed to. It's supposed to be kind of a bell curve.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's go with this next piece of shit.
Oh, wait. Is this your granddad?
It must be my grandfather. That piece
That's
of
right.
crap.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a Parisi Squares stick and shove it. Anyways.
So the way I'm going to judge him is I'm going to say that after 7 years of being stuck on that planet by himself and thinking he will never see another human being again, Thomas Riker got rescued by the Enterprise D and had zero interest in patching shit up with this piece of garbage.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm going to say D.
Squarely in the D column.
Yeah. I can see that. He didn't get along with his kids. He was just an arrogant jerk. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He sucked.
D list it is. All right,
And
next
also
one.
because Riker, I really love Riker's character. I think he's a great guy, and he's charismatic, and he's good with people. You know, if you're a decent person, he likes you and gets along with you. He couldn't stand his dad. So
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
When Daddy
next one.
Frakes doesn't like you, then you're on my shit list too.
Did you add Kim or was
I
was
did.
He oh,
I just added him.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Next is Data. I gotta go A.
I think you're right. I think you got to go A. You break it down into its fatherhood, into its base elements, and without emotions to guide him, he created a life and took care of it as best he could.
Yeah.
Given the
He's Dad
circumstances.
GPT.
Yes. Yeah. He did his. I mean, I would imagine he did his best to save her.
Yeah.
Did what he thought was best for, made the decisions he made for her, the way he guided her, you know, wanting to stay on the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Everything said, I'm a supportive, loving, nurturing dad. And
Remember
by the
when
way,
he
I don't have
confronted
any
Riker?
emotions to guide me.
When he confronted Riker, what are your intentions with my daughter?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. There's something that I've said to my kids from the time they were very little. Whenever they're scared about something, I ask them a question. I say, what's Daddy's number one job? And they know the answer. They say, to protect me. And I said, yeah, to protect you. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to you.
Yep.
And I believe that. That's the number one job of a father. And he did that. So yeah, he goes up top.
All right, Harry Kim added into the ranks.
He had a baby, right? And an alternate. I think he should be right next to Tom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Put the weirdos together.
Put the weirdos together. The Ocampan Dayton weirdos. Yeah.
All right. Admiral Paris.
Again, we don't have a ton of information. We a little bit about what Tom said about.
Yeah, but Tom's kind of an asshole.
Tom is kind of an asshole, and I think in the end, Admiral Paris was glad to see his son, no matter what the circumstances were. But again, I think Admiral Paris belongs next to Lieutenant Paris.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
You think
I don't think he did in the end. I don't think he did. I don't think he did anything that he wouldn't have done if his son wasn't on that ship. He had a job to, run the Pathfinder program and bring Voyager home, and he did it.
Yeah, and that just makes him a good Starfleet officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think C-list. Like,
okay.
Yeah. All right. Q.
I mean,
I think
we've got 2 episodes where he was a father. The very end of Q, whatever Voyager episode where they make a baby, and then the episode where Q boy and Ichib get into hijinks together.
Right.
So,
which makes me to say
he wanted to abandon his kid. And
no, I don't think he wanted to abandon his kid. I think he knew enough that I'm not the best person to fix this problem.
Right.
So he wanted to adopt him out?
For an omnipotent being to say there's somebody who might know more about this than me.
It takes a big man.
That's what I mean. Like, I think he's an dad.
It takes a big god to admit when he's wrong.
I may be omnipotent, but I don't know everything.
Right.
He's got an IQ of 2005.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He might be an A dad. He wanted the best for his kid.
I don't know about that.
He was a god who humbled himself.
Yeah,
we make religion based off of that.
It was
all right. So what you have to do sometimes when it's tough, you have to ask yourself a question like, okay, if he's going to go into the A column, that means Q is a better dad than Miles O'Brien. Is that a true statement? And if it's not, you can't put him in that column.
No. Or Joseph Sisko. No. Or Trip. No.
All right. Fine. B list. He's a B list dad. All right. Tuvok.
There is nothing that I can think of that would not put him in the, say, A-ish column. He talks a little bit about his relationship with his sons. He was talking to Ensign Wildman about, he's trying to comfort her because they were about to die.
Yeah.
And he comforts her by saying, my son and my daughter are in good hands because I raised them and I know for a fact that they're going to be okay because I instilled my morals and my code and my ethics and they got a good mom, blah, 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 blah. That is, I think that's one of the hallmarks of a good father. And he was confident in that. I don't see any reason why he was not telling the truth. So, I think on this list, I think this is one time where we can't anthropomorphize it. We have to sort of go by Vulcan standards because that's just the way they are and the way they've been portrayed. And I think because of that, I think he goes in the A column.
Yeah. Isn't it talking? Is it Neelix? Where like Neelix wanted to have a boy and was going to have a girl. And Tuvok was like, why would my daughter have any difference of love or care than my sons? Or
right. So I think he treated all of his kids fairly. I think, by all accounts, he was a good dad. I think the only thing that would detract about this is they're all in the military. They're all in Starfleet. I think that deducts a couple of points from a lot of them, but
no, but A list is fine for me. Cisco.
Talk about complicated. Single dad,
Single dad,
raising a
runs a
kid.
space station.
Yep, from the age of he was like, how old was Jake? 11, 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
When they had to, eject the escape pod.
Also, he's Space Jesus.
And he's Space Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one of his flaws is in the final episode he went away.
Right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense him going away, because if the wormhole aliens do not lead a linear existence and time is meaningless, then he can go with them 40 years from now. He doesn't have to go with them now.
Right.
So he left his son. He left his son behind. He left his sons behind.
That's
Because
right.
He had a new baby. He had a new baby that doesn't know his father. So for 7.95 seasons, or excuse me, 6.95 seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, he was a great dad. Screwed it up in the end.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I think that's what keeps him out of the S column, and I think it keeps him out of the A column.
Ooh, that's.
I will give the counter. When he's about to leave, he even says, "I could be back yesterday." He didn't know when he was going to come back.
There's nothing in canon saying how long he was gone.
Right.
And
he thought he could be back in a moment.
Right.
He wasn't sure.
So we don't know that he left them for a long period of time. Could be a year. It could be yesterday.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think that keeps him back in the A column.
All right.
Because out of all the Star Trek fathers, there were more father-son moments between him and Jake than anything else in Trek. Yeah. And honestly, the tenderness he showed Jake, the time he spent with him,
even with the wormhole aliens.
I mean, baseball and trying, just all the dinners and trying to let him become his own man and not going back for him on Deep Space Nine when they abandoned the station because he's his own, trying to juggle him being a man versus him being a son and letting him find his own path. There was a fine line. There was a tightrope there, and I think he walked that tightrope with grace.
Chat, what do you guys think? Cisco, S tier, A tier, B tier? What do you think? I think he's. I still think S tier, man.
Whenever I hug my sons, for some reason I always think about I think about Ben hugging Jake, especially now because in the later seasons when Ben Cisco hugs Jake, he's so much taller.
He's hugging up.
Right. And I'm 5'11" and a half, and my son is like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So I'll grab his head like Ben does, and I'll kiss him on the forehead.
Yeah.
So there's a special place in my heart for the relationship that they have.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying S tier.
I'm saying S tier.
Oh man. You're going to make me be the asshole that keeps Benjamin Sisko out of the
You're
S
saying
tier?
Benjamin Sisko was not a good father?
That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, even the chat's saying S tier. Jazzbiz.
Let me see. Let me look at who else is in S tier.
Rom
and Sergey.
Yeah.
Okay, and who's in the A tier?
Picard, Geordi, Riker, Mbenga, Data, Tuvok.
All right, put him in the S.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought he says.
Whoa.
That's right. All right, next one.
I heard a biatch after that.
The greatest father of them all.
I did nothing wrong.
That's right.
Everything I did for the Bajoran people. I was a benevolent leader.
That's right. Golden God is the greatest dad. Just ask him.
He's a piece of shit. Put him in the D column.
No, do not put him in the D column.
Whoa.
Do not put him in the D column.
Do it.
Put him in the C column.
Why?
because
in the
he
scene?
loved his daughter. It was obvious he loved his daughter. And he did one thing for his daughter that went against everything he believed in. He let his daughter go and live with Kira.
What about his other kids?
I don't care about his other kids. The only kids I know about is ZL.
Wow.
If he cared about his other kids, Zial wouldn't exist.
Wouldn't have. I'm just saying, what would have been different?
He wouldn't have been shagging Bajoran women on the station.
Okay,
he was a married.
So
he was a married man. He was married.
That makes him
children.
a shitty husband. That makes him a shitty husband.
You guys ever play the Super Mario games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In my head, Ducat is like Koopa, and all the other kids are like the lone Koopa kids, and he's constantly putting them in danger. He just has his own dreams.
Koopa built an empire for his children. Okay, gave each one of his children a flying ship.
All right. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this in perspective.
Yeah.
Gul Dukat is Star Trek's version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger has 4 kids, and one of them is with the maid.
Yeah.
And his previous kids, his original kids, his proper kids,
the OG Schwarzeneggers.
Yes, want nothing to do with their brother.
Right.
What a shitty siblings. What a shitty situation. But he created it. He created that situation.
That doesn't make him a shitty dad. With all his kids.
It sure does. Absolutely, it does. He broke up his own family.
Yeah, I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I still think Gul Dukat did. Don't get me wrong. I hate Gul Dukat as much as everybody does. But in the end,
one of your jobs
doesn't sound like as much.
As a father, one of your jobs as a father is to give your children the best possible situation going forward.
Which is exactly what Gul Dukat did when he let Zial live on the station.
No. Having a child out of wedlock with another woman when you're still married.
You know what?
Is the opposite of that.
Let's use the thing Dan said earlier. Is Gul Dukat a better father than the doctor?
Kyle Riker? Yes.
Then who?
The doctor from Voyager.
Then we misplaced the doctor from Voyager.
No, that's because this just feels right.
Oh.
Yep.
This is
there anybody in the chat that will back me up on this? Please.
They have not been springing forth earlier.
Can you do me a favor, Daniel? Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
I know he was never on Star Trek, but can you find a thumbnail of Arnold Schwarzenegger and put these 2 pieces of shit right next to each other in the D column?
Yeah. Let me get on that.
I need my Strongbeard fans to come forth and defend me.
They ain't coming, pal.
Yeah. They are not. Yeah.
Oh.
All
right, moving on.
All right, next one. Rios.
So when was
it was established that they got married?
Yeah, he was going to be a stepdad.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. He polluted the timeline with his lineage. Got it.
With his seed.
Yeah, he polluted the timeline with his seed. Yeah. I mean, we didn't.
He was a cool. He'd be a cool dad.
He got himself killed in a bar fight.
Yeah.
Defending somebody. I think he got himself killed in a bar fight, like protecting something or protecting somebody.
Yeah, they kind of make an allusion to that.
Yeah.
But you know,
why was he in a bar?
Kid. Yeah.
Since I became
being in a
dad,
bar doesn't make you a bad dad.
No, but I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've been in a bar since I had children.
Yeah, it's the same here.
I feel like he's a C dad.
But you have been in a bar.
Yeah.
And we have no idea if this was a frequent thing for him, or maybe he just went to the bar to handle something that needed to be handled. I don't think he was just in a bar, got drunk, and then got in a bar fight. Maybe he had to go to that bar to confront the problem. But we don't know. So we know nothing about him. We know nothing about the type of dad
he was after the doctor mom. That's what he was after. The kid was just an afterthought. So C list.
He goes squarely in the B column.
You think so?
Yep. along with Oh, and screw this next guy. I'm just gonna have kids until one of them turns out right.
Yeah. Is Dr. Soong?
This is Dr. Noonien Soong.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a real kid, but I'm not gonna tell anybody about him until
Yeah.
he shows up in season 3 of whatever season. I don't know when he showed up.
Yeah.
No, he was in the first
Eric
season.
Soong?
Picard, right?
Yeah.
Well,
How many
that's second
Soongs it
season.
I
says
don't know.
Brent Spiner played?
Whatever. Yeah.
So
what are we thinking for Soong?
he builds one
C-list,
android
D-list?
and he becomes B4, builds a second android, becomes Lore. Lore's a piece of crap, so he's like, well, I'm just going to build a third android
Yeah.
and not
For
even
androids,
give
you
him
can
emotion.
reprogram them.
I'm going to, because not giving him emotions when he gave the second child emotions.
Yeah.
That's a dick move, man.
Yeah. So we can feel how it feels to be abandoned.
And he did recall him to give him emotions, which does that make him a better father than Worf?
I want you to feel this abandonment.
Well, you know what? Look at it this way. On his deathbed, he was still fighting to give his children the best life moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he had days to live. And he's like, no, I gotta make things better for Data before I go.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
intentions
quality.
Count as good fathering.
Well, he also told him, hey, hijack your ship and come see me. That's not exactly the best.
The road to hell. Yeah, an argument can be made for C or D. I mean,
I think C.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's put him in C.
I think he's in C.
Yeah. And then we're just giving up on Neelix.
So what we're saying is Noonien Soong is a better dad than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Got it. That's my big takeaway. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Arnold's in there. I got him in. Just
I
like
got
that.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that's
Neelix
where-
again. Neelix. I was gonna put him. I don't know. I was gonna put him in the B column. We don't know that much, but he was a surrogate father to Naomi.
Yeah.
I think he did an excellent job. Basically raising Naomi. I think those characteristics to be transferred to.
But he also did date a 2-year-old.
Again, I'm going to use that big word again, Daniel.
Yeah.
I think you're anthropomorphizing because that 2-year-old had the mental capacity of a 20-year-old. Although even that's a little weird. Like
that sentence out of your mouth?
Yeah.
On the internet?
Yeah. Oh God, no.
Just saying.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
I think you just made a list.
They talked about it on the
you made a different list, buddy.
Yeah.
On the Delta Flyers, they talked about the age difference between Jennifer Lane and Ethan Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
That it was a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm. That's what. No, I won't say it. Never mind.
I say list.
I say B. I think he was a good father.
Okay.
We just don't know a whole lot.
Dan, what are you thinking?
Look at his relationship with Naomi.
I'm thinking C.
So all the things that he did for Naomi and for Ensign Wildman, like you're not going to give him any credit for that.
Oh man, it's true. It's not his kid.
Godfather. He was Naomi's godfather. Father's in that word.
Did he not help with the Borg kids too?
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, would you be okay with him being your like godfather? I would be. He's a great person.
Cooks.
I look at this list.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine, or I'm having fun imagining these characters looking at this list. I'm imagining the Doctor looking at this list and seeing Neelix 2 rungs above him.
Yeah.
The Doctor and Ducat would be pissed. Worf would be like, "This is an honorable list. I belong here."
You know, it's funny. You look at the list, right? Worf's at the bottom. His own father is at the top.
Yeah.
Cisco is at the top. His own father is well, he's 2 rungs down.
Yeah, 2 rungs down. Yeah. No,
But
you're
it's
right
just
about
funny
that.
how being a good father doesn't make your children a good father, and vice versa necessarily.
Worf would be pissed that Rom is so much above him.
Oh, very much so. Yes, that's
Dare
true.
you let that Ferengi be so high up?
That is true.
Yeah. But I feel
Trip
like it's a
would get
decent
emotional and make you feel bad about putting him in the
Yeah.
B list.
No, I'm happy with this list.
Yeah.
I think this is I think it's a valid list.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
I think
So-
Ducat should go 1 rung up, but other than that,
All right.
Well, then you got to put Arnold Schwarzenegger with him, which I know you don't want to do. So
no, I don't want to do.
So for those of you listening, do you want to go through the categories real quick?
Yes.
On which rung?
Remember, we
it's from?
got S through D. It's S, which is superior, and then A, B, C, D.
Yep.
So do you want to, for the people who are listening audio only, you want
Yes.
to read? You want to read them off?
Yeah, read through them. Yeah. D list, we got Worf, we got the Doctor from Voyager, we have what was his name? Kyle Riker? Yeah. Galdicott and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And
Get
Richard
to the
Bashir.
chopper.
Yes.
Get to the family court for 70%.
So those are all terrible fathers.
Those are the worst of the worst.
Yep.
C list, we have Magnus Hansen, 7-9's dad, Sarek, Kirk, Noonien Soong, Data's dad, and Admiral Paris, Tom's dad.
Mhm.
So our middle of the road dads, B list, just average, decent dads. We got Miles, we got Jack Crusher, older Jack Crusher, not Picard's son, Jack Crusher. Booker from Discovery, Sulu, Restaurant Cisco, old Cisco, Grandpa Cisco, Trip, Q, Tom, Harry, Rios, and Neelix. Our A list are, great, good dads. Not great, but good. We got Picard, Geordi, Riker, Dr. Mbenga from Strange New Worlds, Data, and Tuvok from Voyager. And then our
We have
top
4
two-
next gen dads in column A.
Yeah. And then our S list, our top tier, the creme de la creme of fatherhood. We've got Rom, we got Sergei Rozhenko, Worf's dad, and Papa Cisco, the original.
So just 2 more things I would like us to do.
Yeah.
For just the S column and the D column.
Yeah.
I would like to figure out who is the grand champion of dads for Star Trek and put that person in the first slot of the S column, and at the same time biggest piece of shit deadbeat dad in the universe, and put them to the right of Arnold Schwarzenegger in that column. So commence arguing.
Yeah. If you're gonna go S tier, top of the top of S tier, it comes down to Rom and Sergei.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
To
think
which I
I'm
would go
gonna
Rom.
really. See, I was gonna say Sergei.
I was
Okay.
going to say Sergei.
I'll tell you why I
Yeah.
say Rom. I'll give this
Okay.
argument. Okay. Rom not only was super allowed his kid to do whatever he wanted to do. When his own kid admitted, I don't want to be my father. I want to go into Starfleet. And he was cool with that, and he let his kid go into Starfleet. And then later, when he became the Grand Nagus, he went and implemented all sorts of societal changes to make things better for their world.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's
So-
a good argument. I think you've changed my mind. I think I'm going to
So
go
you-
Rom.
So you think he's not only Rom's dad, but he's the father of Ferenginar?
That's
That's
right.
right.
The founding
He's the
father.
He's the founding father of modern Ferenginar. Yeah, it's him.
It's
Yeah.
All
number
right,
one.
so leave him right there. Go down
Yeah.
to the bottom. Pull pull Richard Bashir 2 slots to the right because he's the biggest piece of shit in the universe, and then we'll go to user feedback.
All right. That's perfect. That's perfect. Let's go to user feedback.
Yeah, he's pretty shitty.
Yeah, except in the chat.
Listener feedback.
All right. I don't know if anyone's Xing up in the chat to join us. We're already like running super late.
Right, we're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So does Chazbiz want to?
Yeah, he's already X'd up. I'm gonna
chime in and tell us what a piece of shit Richard Bashir is.
I got a really long email from Duvall. I will read it next week because it is so long
Okay.
and we're already running so behind.
All right,
so we'll
okay.
get Chazbiz. He already X'd up. So he's gonna be coming on in a second. But I like the list. I think it was fun. So
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. All right, there's Chazbiz.
Hey,
Hello.
What'd you think of the list?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you guys add Kirk's dad from the movies?
Oh,
George Kirk
that's who we forgot.
giving the ultimate sacrifice to save
God.
his
Oh my
unborn,
God.
just born son.
How did we forget Thor?
Yeah.
Jesus, we got to do the whole thing over.
That's it.
That's
I
the
put
4-hour
him
episode.
clearly in the
That's it.
A category.
Yeah, he's in the A.
Oh, he's A. Yeah, he's A.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
sacrificed
definitely.
himself.
sacrificed
Yeah.
himself to save his
Oh,
son.
not A, the S, right? S is the top one.
S is the top one.
His unborn child
Yep.
saved everybody
Yes.
on that ship he could.
Yeah.
Unhesitantly.
You think S tier for that?
That
I mean,
took
he only
balls,
gave
man.
up his life. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that took
Yeah, I
balls.
think A.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't
Or
know a
S,
whole lot about
That's what
him.
we-
Uh,
Well, in
we
the
don't know
other
a lot about
timeline,
him.
he was going to be an admiral.
Well, yeah, there's the JJ universe George Kirk, and then there's the regular George Kirk, because George Kirk lived long enough to see him graduate Starfleet Academy.
Right.
And by all accounts, he was like one of the, inspirations for him to join Starfleet. So he must have been a good
Okay.
dad.
We can put him S tier. I'll give you that. But it doesn't change Rom's standing. Rom is still
No.
Rom's still the
Nope.
best.
yeah.
So
All right. We'll do that.
I mean, best like redemption story because he was a piece of crap at the beginning, and then now he's Grand Nagus. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Chazbiz,
Agreed.
take a minute and tell us how much you hate Richard Bashir, please.
I think he's a lazy parasite on humanity. He's just a leech.
Perfect.
I mean,
Perfect.
He's just
And-
a tick that just sucks.
Can you tell us about your father, the bad guy from Over the Top, Chazbiz?
Over the top. Yeah. No. Well, he's out driving a truck right now, and he's
I was just gonna say,
skating.
I hope your truck's not idling outside.
Oh, no.
That's against the law.
Yeah. So that was a fun list. That was fun.
It was.
Man, that was a long
Yeah.
episode, guys.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
But
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
the rant on Bashir's dad's always my favorite.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will love that.
Yes.
Yeah, you might have to put a warning too, because I think we use the word the S word quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
it's kind of it's like the Lower Decks episode where they go to the planet and they give up money and everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Everybody gives up their wealth and just kind of pandemonium. It's like,
Right.
yeah, that's exactly what would happen here. It'd be just pure pandemonium.
Yep.
It'd take years before people would settle. Then you'd be in bread lines. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
everybody likes the bread line. So
Oh yeah. Who doesn't?
Ooh, I smell bacon.
Yeah.
it's puppy.
All right.
So what are you guys doing for Father's Day?
Hopefully, eating some bacon.
Eating bacon.
Alright.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I
Are
might
you
go out of-
grilling? Are
I
you
got my little boat out yesterday, cleaning it up, so I'm gonna go get some fuel and start it up, and maybe take it out on the lake.
awesome?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was homesick all day yesterday, and I'm still a little under the weather. So
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to be venturing out. Might play it close to home today.
It's,
Well, you probably got a communicable disease when you punch that guy in the face.
that's right.
Got to put him in the body bag. Sweep
He was
the
like,
leg, you know, they start cheating.
Yeah.
You know, karate here, no karate here. You know,
Yeah. Well, for me, yesterday was my oldest nephew's birthday. Tomorrow is my niece's birthday, his sister. It's Father's Day today. So we're all getting together to celebrate everybody.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
so
Next time you do a tournament, Dan, I will be your Chadich.
You
Yes.
give me my chut each. All right.
Yeah.
So Dan, how far did you make in the 5 boroughs this year?
5 boroughs. I didn't even make it.
You didn't see the new Karate Kid movie? 'Cause
Oh,
you
I
gotta fight
did.
the 5
Yeah.
boroughs.
I did.
So.
I did. It was. I went to see it with my son. It was a fun movie. It's kind of silly, but
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
silly, but
it was
serious.
that kid's got some skills.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he's good.
That kid was like, he can do some awesome stunts.
He's
you
going to
know?
make a great Robin in the DCU in a few years.
Man, I say that kid could have been a good Shang-Chi or something, you know. Like, he's freaking awesome.
Can you answer one quick question, Dan? Without spoiling the movie, do they acknowledge the Cobra Kai universe at all?
in a
At the very
post credit scene, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I saw the post-credit scene on TikTok, whether I wanted to
yeah.
or not. It showed up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It just
Okay.
was there.
yeah.
Somebody spoiled it for you as usual.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
All the more reason I got my Superman tickets already.
Yep.
We're going Saturday afternoon. Friday morning, I'm probably going social media dark,
Yep.
and
Oh,
Saturday
yeah, me too.
afternoon.
Yep.
Saturday afternoon, we're gonna see it.
We're seeing it.
If
Friday at
somebody spoils it in line at the
Go
theater,
punch.
I'm gonna punch him right in the face, and
Yep.
that'll be that.
And I'll be right behind you as your Chadich.
What's
Mhm.
the date on that movie?
The 11th. Well, he's going to go see
Yep.
it on the 12th, but
The 11th.
it
Yeah.
comes out on the 10th on Thursday.
I'm seeing it on the 8th.
On the-
Nice.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it comes out on Thursday, I might sneak out and see it and not tell my
Yeah.
son and just see it
Right.
again with him on Saturday.
I've already
I'm
got plans
excited
to
to
see it
see it,
again the
man.
following weekend
Yeah.
at the cheaper theater. So I'm going to go
Yeah.
see it in IMAX.
I know. I'm
2D.
looking at my wife's schedule, and I'm like, dang it, she works that whole weekend. And I'm like, so I'm gonna have to see it that following Monday.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go internet silent, and that's gonna be very
Just
hard.
do what Dan's going to do. Go see it, Thursday night or Friday. and
I'll
then
go see it by
following
myself. Look weird, you know.
I'll take a
Mhm.
3-hour lunch on Thursday. I'll just
There you
tell,
go.
Yeah,
tell my boss,
There you
hey,
go.
I got a doctor's appointment.
It's a
I got
longish
few
movie.
hours.
It's 2 hours and 11 minutes long.
got
Yeah.
stuck in traffic, man. Smell like popcorn.
Daniel, I think we're going to have to devote a show to it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys ought to devote a show to that and Fantastic Four. I mean, this is a big month next month. So
Well,
Yeah.
the problem with that is Strange New Worlds kicks off.
Right.
you
So,
still
like,
do
I
like
think
20, 30 minutes afterward, if you want
I don't
to.
know. We'll
Yeah, we
figure
did
it out.
20, 30 minutes on Gul Dukat today. So
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
Only
yours-
only because we had to set somebody straight.
That's right. That's right.
well, Ducat's like, come on. The guy, he's like a rapist, He's
horrible
a-
person. Horrible
Like
person. Horrible person. But just
Yeah.
sort of a kind of bad dad.
Yeah.
You think? Oh,
All right.
man.
Well, we should wrap it up because we've gone so
yes.
long.
Yeah.
Speaking of dads, my dad's calling. Hold on a minute, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, you're live on Trekcast. What's up?
Oh, I just quick. I want to wish you a happy Father's Day, Dan.
Aw.
Thanks,
Aw.
Dad. I love you. Happy Father's
Love
Day.
you too.
All right. I'll call you
All right.
soon.
You have a nice day, all right?
You too. Love you, Pop.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't do that. So.
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if my dad did. He passed in 2011, so
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Like,
he's in the
Awesome.
celestial temple.
Yeah.
That's right. With Cisco.
He's a wormhole alien.
Yeah. Oh God.
He's Space Jesus now.
He's space,
Yeah.
yeah. He's with Space
He's
Jesus.
He's rocking it out with Michael Burnham and
Right.
Cisco.
Cisco.
All right. Well, on that note,
Yes. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
happy Father's Day,
Happy
everybody.
Father's Day, everyone.
We'll catch you next time.
We'll see you
Bye.
next week.
This is Captain Benjamin Sisko of Deep Space Nine and Space God to the Bajorans. I have a mission for you. This falls outside of Starfleet guidelines, so I can't order you, but I'm asking for volunteers. Volunteers who will subscribe to the Trekcast YouTube channel, leave 5-star reviews on your podcast app of choice, and share Trekcast across your social media accounts. If we can make our audience bigger, we might have a chance against the Dominion. Are you ready? Subscribe, like, and share. Are you with me?